When the PlayStation launched in 1995 for the Western world, Sony needed the games in question to wow and impress virtually everyone. The public needed to be impressed to convince them to buy the system. Journalists needed to be in awe so that they would recommend the console, and of course behind the scenes, Sony needed third-party support to get more software released as time went on. In 1995, Battle Arena Toshinden came out and helped the PlayStation sell to millions of people while also becoming a successful game in the process. A year later, a sequel was made and Takara looked to emulate the sales while improving the game that got them glory in the first place. Is this game any good? I suggest we take a look. We begin with a cutscene loosely describing the story.
Ultimate fighting tournament, Battle Arena Toshinden. It has been a year since the incredible tournament took place. Those who fight to find their true selves, those who fight to preserve the future, they have assembled to fight again. And so the next tournament begins.
And then we cut to a bizarre sight. Seeing actors cosplay some of the characters, including Sophia and Ellis. We also see the occupation of the main characters. I mean, with the cheesy rock music in the background, it's just a bit too much for me. Still, could be worse. Am I right? When you get to the main menu, you will see there's not much to do. Hold on, versus human? Why not just 2p like any other game? No matter, the normal one player mode will do just fine. As you can see, we have a few characters to pick from. I love how you can see the actual game graphics with the characters' heads as they spin around. At least I can say that the facial graphics are nice. They even make a noise too. Well, not sure about this guy, he creeps me out. So, here's the game in its glory, and on first impressions, things are looking good. Before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's talk gameplay. Clear as day here, this is a 3D fighting game. Battle Arena Toshinden helped pioneer 3D fighting games as we know it. Remember, it was the first 3D fighting game to introduce sidestepping, a revolution in 1995. First, the attacks. Standard fare really, a weak punch, a strong punch along with a weak and strong kick makes up your offensive moves, while blocking will also be a vital part of any fighting game. Being a weapons-based fighting game, your moves will be slower than normal and timing is everything. Again, as you'd expect, throwing opponents or grabs are also possible, and of course, the special attacks. These special attacks come in two flavours, standard and I guess I will call it ultimate. At the bottom of the screen is an overdrive meter. When it flashes red and drains, you can pull off stronger attacks along with special attacks to devastate those who stand in your path. This meter will be available quicker than you'd expect, and taking advantage of this is the key to success. Some attacks will be ranged, while others will require you to make contact with your opponent to work. If the attack is blocked, it will not activate. Yes, timing once again is critical for these moves to work effectively. Oh, and I also forgot to mention the ring outs. Very handy for when things get dicey. So far, so standard, right? Well, yes, but in theory there's nothing wrong with that. Besides, with many characters to choose from and each of their own strengths and weaknesses, you'd think this game would be rich with replay value and endless possibilities. That's what they expected me to say. Instead, this game needs fixing up because it's riddled with faults. Chief among which is that important component called the gameplay. I've never played a game that started out so promising, only to fall apart in this fashion. Before I rip this game a new one, I should explain something important. The original game was fantastic in 1995, but in 2020, we now know the truth. The first game, while innovative and nice looking for its day, plays like utter crap. Look at it! Definitely overhyped beyond belief. This game has improved over the first, but not enough. First off, the control. It's not the worst thing ever, but still, it's slower than I'd like and the response times are lacking. When you get hit, your character is stunned for longer than you'd expect. If your foe gets a combo on you, you cannot counter or break free, thus there's nothing you can do. Getting up takes about 10 years, literally, and when you finally get up, you only get knocked down again and the cycle repeats. As time goes on, you start to realise the only real way to win the later stages is either to knock the opponent out of the wing or to spam your special moves until you win. Of course the AI will do this too. It's a case of who can get the first hit and keep you there. I also have to stress that the dodge roll is far too slow and you're not invincible when you use it. You can sidestep faster by running and quickly hitting the dodge button, but it's hard to attack and do this at the same time. Basically, dodging in this game is almost useless. The collision detection also seems buggy. For every time I should be hitting someone, I don't, and I seem to get caught when I should not be. It's like a dice roll, which I should not need to tell you is a no-no in fighting games. The special moves look unremarkable and lack imagination, almost as if the board meeting put in the most stockish moves you could think of. Oh, and the animation is pretty much all over the place. Sometimes it looks convincing and other times... Is he breathing? Yeah, guys, stretching up and down like that is not how a human being breathes. I don't get it, plus some moves look awkwardly stiff in motion like EG's backflip here. Before I keep going, I will say there's a few things I do like. First, the graphics overall do look good. There's a good amount of detail on the characters, the lighting used is fantastic and adds atmosphere. The 3D backgrounds have great textures, until you fall off and see this, but anyway, the game overall does look good. The lip syncing is great too, which is always nice to see and proves that the PS1 is capable of a lot more than first expected.
なかなかやるじゃないか。
地獄で会おうぜ、ベイビー。
お前は十分やった。
I still think the facial details are the best bit about the graphics, especially when the characters do their victory stances. The sound effects do the job and are decent, if a bit uninteresting. The voice actors sound very good even though the voices are in some other language, most likely Japanese. Still, it sounds good. The music though, honestly, this was the only reason I kept playing. Every song rocks. There's so much energy in every song and the compositions really hook you in. This is epic stuff. No, seriously, listen for yourself. Even the credits are worth watching alone for the song that plays over it. The only flaw here is the music will restart with every match, thus you only get to hear 30 seconds of each song at most, which is disappointing as the music here is so well done. This game, while not the worst thing ever made by any means, falls too short in too many areas, and unless you are someone like me who likes to collect games or is willing to play less common titles such as this one, I don't really suggest buying this game for a good time. A shame, as the good parts do shine through, but not enough to overshadow the flaws this game has. What a complete disappointment. Battle Arena Toshinden 2 is just mediocre overall then. There's too many flaws and as a fighting game it's substandard at best. But that soundtrack saved it from a further bashing from me. It deserves to be in a better game, quite frankly. What makes this whole experience quite troubling is this here. Yes, special thanks Capcom? You mean this Capcom? Or this one? Yep, Capcom somehow was involved in this game. Oh, I hope they weren't the ones who developed it, because God forbid if so, then how did they screw it up? I guess we can end it there. What do you folks think of this game? Did Capcom develop this game in secret or something? Let me know, and until my next video, I will see you soon.